Welcome to Lesson 8, Creating Special Effects. In this video, I'm just going to get you started with how you can apply special effects and then add some painterly effects to those so that you can blend them in better with your image. I have ADV PS 0801 open and I'm clicking on the lagoon layer and I'm first of all right-clicking on it and converting it to a smart object. The reason you want to save a smart object is because it embeds the original within this file so that you can go back to it at any time. I'm also going to go up to Filter and I'm going to apply the oil paint filter. And you'll notice that there are some really great effects that you can take advantage of in here. And I'm just applying cleanliness and scaling the brush strokes and bristle detail, applying all sorts of effects that I like to this. If you ever want to go back to your settings, you can always hold down your Alt or Option key and you'll notice that Cancel becomes Reset so that you can start all over again. Now I'm going to click OK, and I want you to notice that because this was a smart object, a smart filter was applied. I also have down here oil paint that I can turn off or on, or I can use this mask by clicking on it and paint where I don't want the oil paint applied. So you'll notice that my foreground color is black. I have the paintbrush tool selected, and if I just paint on that mask, you can see that no longer in that area, right there where you see the black, is the oil paint filter being applied. Now I can also press X to swap back to white and paint it back in if I want. Sometimes it's fun even just to press Shift Delete and then fill this whole area with black so that there's nothing being applied, and then paint back white only where you want to apply that effect. Now you can do this with any of the filters. I'm just doing this with the oil paint right now, but it's really fun to experiment with all your other filters as well. Now I can even throw that away and be left with that original. And I'm going to do that for right now. I'm going up to the parrot layer. I'm right-clicking. Well, first of all, let me make it visible. There we go, our lovely parrots. I'm right-clicking and I'm selecting that I want to convert this to a smart object. Now again, if I ever want to get back to the original, I can double-click in the thumbnail down in the lower right-hand corner, say OK to this message, and then I can edit or change this original image. You'll notice it's a parrots.psd image, and it's actually connected with my original image. I'll go into that later. Right now, I'm just going to take this and apply the new filter that is called Camera Raw Filter. So typically, if you're shooting in Camera Raw, you'll bring in a lot more data, but you do have some great capabilities that you can take advantage of with existing files by using this filter as well. So you'll notice the image comes up, and I can just go into the Hue, Saturation, Lightness tab, HSL, and maybe change the hues. Maybe I want to switch the colors up. And so I can recognize all the existing colors and change those. Or maybe increase the saturation. Depends on where I'm going. If I'm really making it saturated, it's probably not going to print very well. Desaturate it means making it basically grayish, and you'll notice that I can even convert the whole thing to grayscale. Or go into luminous and brighten it up a bit. Once I've made those changes, if I click OK, you'll notice that again, I can turn that off or on. Or I can take the smart filter and maybe even do something simple like pull a gradient across so those colors fade in. And you can see they fade based upon this mask here. Wherever it's black, it's covering up that filter, the Camera Raw filter, from applying. Wherever it's white, the Camera Raw filter is applying. Now, what if I want to fix the mask in here? I can double click down in the lower right hand corner, open up the original, and you'll see that I can activate that mask. Now notice that if I hold down my Alt or Option key and click on that mask, I can even see it closely. And I can see some of the parts were missed here. That's fine. I could take a paintbrush, press X to make sure I have black forward, and touch this up a little bit to fix it. Maybe I don't like the edge down here. I'm going to take my zoom tool, just zoom in a little bit over here, and I'm going to clean this up a bit. Now I'm turning on the image again by clicking on the thumbnail, but I'm clicking on the mask to make that active. If I take my paintbrush and I make it a little smaller by pressing the left bracket, this is to the right of the letter P, and start painting with black, you'll notice that I'm cutting off that parrot a bit. But if I hit X, I can paint it back in. And maybe I just want to smooth that out a bit. So you can edit your mask. You can then save the file. So I'll just press Control or Command S, and then I can press Control or Command W, close it up, and you'll see that it gets updated when I go back to my original file. So in this video, you discovered how you can apply some special effects in Photoshop Creative Cloud.